One of the goals of this channel is to change the way people think about what a historical game is and is not, and the Fallout series is a perfect case study. The Fallout games are at once science fiction, taking place in a distant future that has been torn apart by nuclear technology, as well as historical fiction, in that the game world asks the question, what if the Cold War never ended? By changing historical variables about the Cold War and then following the potential consequences into the future, Fallout makes fascinating arguments about which historical processes were the most significant for producing the real world that we currently live in. But what historical variable does Fallout portray as the most important thing standing between us and nuclear apocalypse? That's the question I will be answering in this video. I'm Dr. Darren Reed, and this is History Through Games. Thank you for tuning in. I'm a historian at McGill University, and this is a video series where I use video games to explore historical themes, concepts, and debates. And I want this series to be a collaboration with all of you. So please let me know in the comments any of your thoughts on the video or any suggestions for future videos so that I can shape this series around your interests. If you haven't played any of the Fallout games or watched the TV series, the basic premise is that by the 22nd century, the world has been destroyed by nuclear warfare, and American society has been divided between surface dwellers who live on the surface as wanderers, who live in small settlements, and who act as soldiers in various militant factions, and then vault dwellers who live in one of 122 underground bunkers built before the apocalypse. Players typically play as vault dwellers, who in each game inevitably leave their vaults for various reasons and must brave the harsh world on the surface. Now, obviously, the Fallout games take place in an alternative timeline, but that doesn't mean that the world of Fallout is not historically accurate. The histories of the Fallout world and our own world are the same until around the 1940s or 1950s, when the divergence happens. The games are situated in a cultural phenomenon known as the American High of the 1950s, when many American people really truly believed that American technology was going to create a universal utopia. In our real world, this American high dissipated thanks to things like the Cold War, the Civil Rights Movement, and backlash against the Vietnam War. But those things didn't happen in the world of Fallout. So the game provides a great window into the culture, norms, and expectations of 1950s America. One great example of Fallout's world into 1950s America is its depiction of technological research and development. Prior to World War II, scientific research in universities was highly unregulated and under the control of local communities. But during World War II, the US government started the Office of Scientific Research and Development to funnel money into scientific research that would benefit the war effort. This produced massive technological leaps, particularly in weapons like the atomic bomb. But after the war, the Office of Scientific Research and Development was closed because the promise of technological advancement was believed to come at the cost of scientific autonomy. Because of this, scientific development was largely relegated to private corporations rather than the government, leading to much more focus on consumer technology like computers and cell phones instead of nuclear weapons. In the world of Fallout, the Office of Scientific Research and Development never closed, with predictable results. Consumer technology became stagnant, with computer, television, radio, and phone technology essentially stuck in the 1950s. Military technology, however, is miles beyond anything we have today, with mechanized suits of armor, laser rifles, handheld nuclear grenade launchers, and more are all common items strewn throughout the game world. But Fallout doesn't just provide a window into 1950s American high. It also advances an argument about the historical significance of post-1950s counterculture. Fallout argues that an unquestioning faith in American goodness, along with an unquestioning faith in government-directed scientific research, leads to hyper-militarization and ultimately to nuclear annihilation. The implication is that the decline of American self-assuredness via things like the civil rights movement and anti-war agitation during the Vietnam War were necessary for the proliferation of critical self-reflection and national humility, which were necessary for the prevention of nuclear apocalypse. So there you have it. The Fallout games aren't historical games in the sense that they take place in a historical setting, but they very much utilize history to create a world and a narrative that simultaneously resonate because they're recognizable, and also intrigue because they represent what might have happened and what might still happen. And as I contend, Fallout makes a historical argument about the historical significance of national humility and critical self-reflection for preventing national exceptionalism and leading society down a very dark path. But I'd like to hear what you think. Do you agree with Fallout's argument about the danger of uncritical national optimism? Or do you even agree with me that Fallout can be conceptualized as a historical game? Let me know your take in the comments below, and feel free to suggest games or themes for future videos. And if you liked this video, check out my other series, Video Game Lit Review, or watch this space for new uploads. But that's all for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Farewell.